Guys, as you already know, my name is John, and I'm gonna discuss the world we live in today. Just for the sake of this, oh, this is not working. What do you?
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Pull the thing, because it made the noise.
There you go.
Okay.
Okay. So, before I start, I'd like to give a disclaimer. This is very highly controversial, so a lot of you might agree, a lot of you might disagree, but I would love for you guys to just keep an open mind. You might learn a couple things. I'm just gonna get started off by asking you a couple questions before I dive in. So, are you guys aware of what's going on in this world? Like, all the, excuse my language, I'm gonna be cursing like a sailor. All the fucked up shit that goes on in this world that we don't pretty much pay attention to, neither does the media? No? Okay, if so, obviously not. You guys clearly aren't gonna be content with what's happening. Here's just an example. The world's 1% of the richest people control 46% of the world's wealth. How crazy is that? We have 7.6 roughly billion people in this world. They control nearly half of that. There's a statistic saying that if you were to take 64 of the richest people, put them in this very room, and accumulate their wealth, their accumulated wealth will be a lot more than 3.5 billion people's accumulated wealth. And I got that from Yahoo. So all this stuff is legitimate websites, legitimate sources. That's just crazy. Okay, moving on. Oh, I wish Nick was here. How many people are you guys, how many people believe in conspiracy theories of some sort? Anything? Yeah? Okay, awesome. So, one thing that bugs me the most is why does the government hide a bunch of crap from us? Or do we even know that they hide a bunch of crap from us? See, Dakota's smiling because he knows exactly what I'm talking about. But, why? You know, it pisses me off. Did it ever come to mind that the school system is fucked up? The work life, your professional job is fucked up. Your, younger childhood generation is extremely messed up. And last but not least, it all intertwines down with the government. And the government has a big play in everything, obviously, and I'll get to all of that right now. Let's start off with the school system. That's a touchy subject for you, but we'll get started. Why is school so expensive? Someone want to tell me why the hell school is so expensive? Is it because of greedy admissions? Greedy people that just want to collect our money? Or simply because the government has a role in all of this? Well, I think the third answer is pretty obvious. Well, the way they're thinking of it is if we can put all these students in college and make them, graduate with six-figure loans like myself. I have $120,000 currently that I got to pay off. It's going to take them forever to pay it off, which is the point, because they're going to be so occupied with their 9-to-5 job or whatever they're doing with their life to pretty much pay that off. And what that does is it acts as a distraction, and you're not going to be able to pay attention to what the government's doing because you're so consumed with the money that you're paying. You can't do anything else except for pay back what you owe. So that has a huge role to it, but I'll get to the more work life later on. Another thing that bothers me the most, and I'm sure it bothers a lot of people, why is it that most of the information that we use, or information that we learn in school, does not apply to what we do in real life? So you're going to tell me you're going to spend 6 figures worth on a bunch of crap that you're not even going to use? So you're literally taking your money, throwing it in the garbage. Sure, this information's cool, all this, we get to learn a lot of stuff in college, but is it really applicable to what we're doing in the future? No disrespect.
No.
But yes. Go
You
ahead.
said we could ask questions,
Absolutely.
so I'm asking a question. I would agree with you in my personal case when I went to college years ago, but that's ancient history. What about people that are majoring in electrical engineering, civil engineering? Don't you think that what they learn here is important for what they do out in the real world?
Nope,
And
that's
I'm not an engineer, never had a
You can answer that for me.
You mind?
Go
So
ahead.
you guys.
A buddy of mine is a structural engineer, and it takes 8 years to become a structural engineer. So you have to pass 2 exams besides your engineering training exam. He said that the stuff that I learned in school, 85% of it is garbage. The other 15% you actually use. Think about it this way. You have a year and a half of electives and humanities. Not that they're not important, but why am I paying $5,000 for a course that I'm not really going to use?
Which is a way of government distracting people, students, from actually fulfilling what they want to do. So, example, my cousin, he's the vice president of Con Edison. He's a mechanical engineer, well, graduated with a BS in mechanical engineering, and he told me that he only can count on one hand how many classes were actually useful in his entire career journey. So that's pretty much self-explanatory. So does corporate America have a huge play in this where there are not that many jobs out there, or I should say they want to pretty much use it as a filtration mechanism where if you have this piece of paper that's worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, you are qualified enough to come work for us, versus a person that doesn't have, the degree, but can be more intelligent. Because I personally don't believe you can judge a person's intelligence by their academic performance. I feel like people are a lot smarter outside of school, Just anyone can pretty much put in the work and try to understand what they're doing if they're passionate about it. But certain intelligence can pretty much go beyond that. And I feel like school shouldn't be like a metric for judging someone's ability to do something. However, it pretty much boils down to society. How many times have you guys heard, if you don't have a degree of some sort, you're not contributing to society? How many of you guys have parents that tell you, oh, you need a degree, you need to work a 9-to-5 job, you needed this, you needed that, you needed this, but simply that's just all government manipulation that has affected them, and now it's coercing and it's coming towards us, and it's going to be passed down to younger generation, That's pretty much messed up, but the government did a great job, because moving on to work life, people think the comfort of a salary is extremely, important, but what's really going on? Someone's really controlling your life by paying you, let's say, $100,000 a year. They're telling you, this is what you can do with this money. You pay, pay all your expenses, pay all your child academics, pay for your family, put food on the table, all that stuff. But yet the government doesn't, I'm sorry, not the government. Work life doesn't deduct the amount the government takes from it. The government usually takes a third of it because they're not happy. As you can see, this here is milking his own cash cow and pretty much sending it on. I thought that was cool. But that pisses me off. So moving on to why people are so occupied with their jobs, why all this is so they can pay off their loans. Most coming off, people usually an average person works up to the age of 40 to pay off all their loans, assuming they got a bachelor's degree and a master's degree at most. Not assuming you got a PhD or whatever. But again, government takes advantage of people being so distracted that they can literally do a whole bunch of things while the person doesn't understand what's really going on. Now, younger generation's childhood. I have a 14-year-old brother, and he pisses me off like crazy because he does all this crap, okay? Digital socialization versus face-to-face interaction. Kids lack that skill now. They lack that human element of, oh, I'm gonna go out and play with my friends. I'm gonna go with this and, play tag or whatever all these little kids do, like actual socializing. When I was a kid, that's all I used to do. I lived in New York, and I played basketball, and I was hanging out. There was no such thing as, we had beepers at the time, but no one really did anything. But now kids are behind their phones, behind their iPads, behind all their technological gadgets, social media, all of this crap, and that's how they socialize. And it's so weird because you have an alter ego when you're actually socializing. And it's not cool because when you put the person face to face, they won't be able to start a conversation. They won't be able to network. They won't be able to do none of that stuff. So they're gonna lack all the crazy stuff that we're gonna need in the future to pretty much operate corporate America, or because this is such a capitalist nation. Instead of playing video games, why don't they pick up books Why don't they do this? Why don't they do that? You know, there's so many things they can do to educate themselves. You know, start at a young age and then get on, you know, with their lives. By the time they're older, they'll be, you know, thanking themselves that they did that. Rather than playing video games, it's not going to get them pretty much anywhere except for like crazy, you know, oh, like this one right here. He goes like, where do kids learn, where do kids learn to be so violent? He's reading it in a newspaper, but like, that's why, because he's sitting playing Grand Theft Auto and all that stuff, so they shouldn't promote that stuff to kids, but why does the government do that? They do that because social media, any kind of technological asset that they have, is their best weapon in terms of brainwashing and manipulating the shit out of people, especially the younger kids, because they want them to be so unaware of what's going on in this real world that it's just not happening, you know? It's not gonna happen for them. They're not gonna understand what they do when they get older. So, and then what pisses me off even more is that people complain, oh, we're such an obese nation, oh, we're so fat, oh, we're so this, we're so that. Obviously, because you have these little kids that are sitting in their little box all damn day eating and playing their freaking games. They're not doing shit with their lives. Oh, they're the kids, but like, that's the time to grow, that's the time to experience your childhood, that's the time to do a whole bunch of stuff, but you have, you know, no dietary supplement whatsoever. You don't, you know, you're not physical, you're not working out, you're not playing any sports, all of that crazy stuff that kids should be doing, they're not doing now. And it's sad. You know, and I worry that future America is going to get messed up. Why? Because these kids aren't going to be able to have the potential to lead executive meetings. They're going to be able to network with other people to get jobs. They're not going to be able to, you know, to make any like cool friends unless like you have their like freaking Facebook or Instagram or whatever. You know, they're not going to be able to do anything, which makes them more vulnerable to the government. So the government has to aid them, aid the future corporate, which pretty much they're controlling the shit out of everything, you know, and that's pretty much what it all comes down to, is that they're controlling everything. And yes, it does all come down to the government, and this is my last topic. I hope I'm not ranting too much, but how many of you guys really care about like Donald Trump, Hillary Clinton, all the presidential shit? How many of you guys, I'm looking straight at you. How many of you guys actually think your vote counts? Right? Your vote doesn't matter, right? People always ask me, oh, why don't you vote? Why don't you? No, your vote doesn't count. It's simple. Why? Because it's not, these people are perceived to be, oh, very powerful. No, but that's just how the media portrays it. The men behind the curtain are the ones who do all the dirty work. They're the guys who actually, they're their puppet masters. These are the guys who actually, you know, run everything, run the foreign exchange currencies, run like everything. So, two most powerful families in this world, and not a lot of, I bet you no one here knows this. Rothschild's family, Rockefeller family. Rockefeller family, obviously for obvious reasons, Standard Oil. They still exist and they're still very powerful. Rothschild's family, they own the US dollar currency and they also own the euro currency. Okay? That's why they're trying to have a euro dollar soon. Why do you think the currencies are so similar in price now? Because they're really trying to combine, really just trying to combine a certain currency. Go ahead.
What do you mean by own? Like,
They run. I'll show you in this video right now. I couldn't engrave it or how encode it and embed it or whatever into the PowerPoint because of I use the Mac, so I don't know. But this is a short 3-minute video, but it's very powerful. I suggest you watch it. You might learn a couple things. I thought this was pretty crazy.